Moving through the street with swagger and need. Often works to job to take care of my need. Taking it all in stride. Daddy seldom complain. His emotions he'll hide. All his aches and pains stays up in his head about what must be done. Taking no time off. Daddy stays on the run. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy seldom gets credit. We don't see all that he does. What's important to us is always showing Daddy love. His love sometimes tough to learn why it took a while. Our relationship special, one of Daddy's child. Facing his responsibilities, making it do what it do. Physically and emotionally available, yeah, Daddy's coming through. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Nothing easy about fatherhood, protecting us from all the no good. Most of the time he gets it right. He'll usually seek the light. He'll take his problems to God. Sometimes we'll pray together. The most gracious, most merciful one. With him the storms will weather. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear. Because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Here, 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 here. He wasn't no Rolling Stone. Daddy was back to the bone. He never rode with many. He tended to roll alone. With all he's been through, Daddy always stayed the course. Living life on its terms. God is his go-to source. He turned his life around, seeking refuge from the one above. Now we have the best of him, a daddy full of love. He's my dad and I love him. With him I have no fear, because anytime I need him, I know Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. He's my daddy. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Daddy's right here. Here. in front of the cameras, setting debate, media propaganda, blitz that just renegade. They're waving to the crowd, spewing empty promises. The applause is loud, and you still talk to this. It's a dog and pony show, threatening the road. Donkeys and elephants, a three-ring circus, rope for dope. They've lost a sin. Line and sinker, they only want followers, not independent thinkers. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Up and away, superheroes to many, saviors for some, a taker from any. They appear distinguished, the 1%'s toys, their souls extinguished, their minds destroyed. For you against you, all with the same breath. With us against us, it's a loyalty litmus test. Patriotism, dictator, confusion, schizoid prism, it's a democracy illusion. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Yeah, their faces are two-tone. They call it a chamber, believers of the manger. In God they trust not, falling angel, no stranger. In it till they die, from their seats they will cry. To our faces telling lies, they're complicit, no surprise. The ceiling is high, they think the same of you and I. What they call woke is a politicized form of divide. All lives no matter, just listen to the idle chatter. They're hiding in plain sight because they fear the smoke and splatter. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. The body count is growing from the propaganda they're sowing. They're hiding the hand, want to keep you not knowing. Peace seems to come through war, but war doesn't bring peace. Residual effects are an intermittent release. Event you'll be called, then they'll call one for you. Presenting arms as though they adore you. They're juvenalistic in nature, maturationless. They turn the other cheek and receive the Judas kiss. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Political leaders, sweet bottom feeders, men who are on their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Their faces are two-tone. Yeah, their faces are two-tone. When we come into adulthood and we display certain characteristics, certain behavior, we get looked at sideways. But it's you, the household, who is the first line of defense. You're the example. You often hear about people saying how difficult it is being black in America, but nobody wants to have a conversation about how difficult it is being black in the hood. Eyes wide open, finally see the light. Ejected from the womb, expecting held me tight. In the eye of the beholder, another king is born. To those who seek division, from her bosom you'll be torn. They'll bait you with false friendships and lure you with good and plenty. Truly they will love you, even those who are your enemy. Always stay the course and remember to stand your ground and praise the living force, for it is he who guides the lost and found. Black boy, keep your head up, you're more special than you know. Black boy, just be patient, when it's your time to shine your glow. Black boy, black boy, black boy, black boy. Inspired by your brothers, the rightly guided, and others, deciding who to follow, conditioning your brothers. You're driven by a desire to fulfill your role as sire, but there's some who you admire. They'll lead you straight down to the hellfire. Delusion and inclusion, creating your illusion. You don't know who to trust, and it's all inciting your confusion. Protect yourself at all times, and don't just live, boy. You just choose your certain wisely, or your spirit they'll destroy. And to those who you entrust, never ever give them your all. Retain a sense of self when the time comes, their true nature calls. Black boy, keep your head up, you're more special than you know. Black boy, just be patient, when it's your time to shine your glow. Black boy, black boy, black boy, black boy. your spirit in alignment with the divine. Hopes, dreams, and aspirations. You're a product of kings from African nations. Lineage of royalty running through your veins. You're feeling idol worshippers and the followers of pain. You're wanted by them all, and you pose a threat to many. The races you're all, and your brothers filled with envy. Just move like boss, never turn the other cheek. Just know when you're not around, he'll abuse some of your brothers will speak. Black boy, keep your head up. You're more special than you know. Black boy, just be patient. When it's your time, shine your glow. Black boy, 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 black boy. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I am your host, as always, Sabir Aline. What's going on? What's happening? What's popping? Yeah, what's popping? My ears, man. My ears. Popping. The burning. Yeah. This is not the show for the thin skin. It always reminds you that if you are looking for somebody or you're looking for somewhere to go where your stuff is co-signed, go to the bar or the barbershop. It's always somebody looking for the rock like that. It's always somebody there. They'll be there for you. Yeah. You so right about that, man. I'm telling you, yeah, she be getting on my nerves. She be doing this and she be doing that. And, I'm here Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, I'm at Joe's place, right? Because Lord knows I can't sit in the house all day with this woman. Not all day. And after being there all day, I have to go somewhere else to exhale, with a few drinks or something like that. And Saturday morning, at least twice a week, I'm at the barbershop. So we really get it in there. We really have some good conversation, some real talk. That's what we do. Yeah. Meanwhile, she's home, the kids, she's doing laundry on the weekends, during the week. Right? She comes home from work. She's catching up on them soap operas. Yeah, she's watching the soap operas all night long. Yep. Put kids to bed. Woo! Day's over. I'm so glad when the day is over, man. I just go ahead and get in bed. It's been a couple of weeks now since, we did a little something. But that's cool. That's our rhythm. That's how we do things around here. She talking about she want to go out. Sheesh. By the time I get in, I go out, eat, go out, or go out and get up and eat. Yeah, that's what we've been doing for the last 5 years. Why change that? Why make that anything different? It works. No issues here. No issues here. We got this. One big happy family.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. Yep, we're going on, sheesh, what, 6 years now? Right. Everything's good. Girl mom for life. What's happening? Everything's good. No problems. You know, every now and then we have a disagreement. All's good. And, that goes on and on and on and on. And people are really good. Well, at least they tell themselves that they're good, right? It's always about the chase. I don't care what the situation is, it's the chase. It's the chase. You spend all this time running behind him, running behind her, you know, posturing, the batting of eyes, the winks here and the little touchy feelies here and there, little flirtatious stuff goes on. And some of the things you do, man, when you meet somebody, man, and you really feel them, it's just, sometimes it's just downright embarrassing. For real. You ever watch yourself, man, like pursuing somebody? Yeah, how like every day you come to work, I use work as an example because this is where most of our time is spent in the workplace, 40 hours a week. You see that same person 40 hours a week. How often do you see your loved ones at home? Much less. How much time do you spend with them? Much less. So, 40 hours, you see this person every day. Come to work Monday through Friday, and you see this person, right? And you had great, wonderful conversation. There, get off work, come home, right? Tired, tired. You just really want to just curl up somewhere or anywhere. You don't even have to make it to the bed. Just find some place where you can just. So, yeah. But every day you get geared up, get dressed, kiss the baby, kiss the spouse, roll out. And you come into your other place, the other part of your life, and you see that same person over and over. And you're good with that. You're good with the regimen. You're good with having conversations, with your colleagues. We're going to be here all day. We got 8 hours to be here together. So we're going to do everything that we can to have a great day, not stress each other out. I'm going to do my job. You're going to do your job. And we good. We have, a conversation with one another. And that's where most of your conversations happen. Most of your interactions happen in the workplace. Yeah. You develop these relationships. And the relationships in the workplace are often far greater than they are at home. Yeah. It happens that way. I don't care how much you love a person, you have to understand that you are there with that person, those people, for 40 hours a week. It's not always grind time. Sometimes it's just you in that space and you just having conversation. At some point in time, it becomes personal conversation because there's but so much you can say about the work day. It's with so much conversation you're going to have about the work day. Small things kicking. Yeah, baby, kids started school today, so on and so forth. Yeah, that's great. Hey, how many kids you have? Yeah, I have three. Yeah, okay. How many boys? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got two boys too. Yeah, yeah. Boys are tough though, man. Just it seems very innocent. And oftentimes it is. But when these conversations happen regularly, you begin to delve more into your personal life. And before you know it, that person knows where you went this weekend for dinner. This person knows whatever transpired last night when you came home with your family. I got home last night, and yeah, oh man, the baby had did this and that, and he was all stressed out and so on and so forth. And it teeters on inappropriate. But then when you get at home, there's none of that. There's no dialogue really at home. The home is just a regimen of tasks. I get up in the morning, get dressed, some idle chit chat, nothing big, nothing magnanimous, nothing big, because you're preparing for work or school. That's what you're preparing for. So your mind is locked onto that task. You know what some things that you should be relaying to one another informationally about what may be going on in the home, what may be going on with the kids, what may be going on with you. But the task often overrides that, and you forget to talk about that. You forget to bring that up, right? Going about your day, the day ends, come home, task, task to wind down from the day. Get off 5 o'clock. You want to wind down. Usually, for many, doesn't stop to 8, 9 o'clock because you have children, you have meals that need to be cooked, you got homework that needs to be done, and you just go ahead and do those things. And by the time you get to the bed, bam, crash out. So that which you should have been having a conversation about never happens. And it goes on like that, and it goes on like that. In the meantime, life in that home, life between the two of you is happening. It's happening. And that's exactly what it's doing. It's just happening. It's just there. That's all it is. It's just there. It's like the iron. The iron is only used when it's time to do what? To press clothes, to take wrinkles out of something. And if you're a Floridian like me, Philadelphia born and bred, you don't see the need for iron that often because it's shorts, t-shirts, flip-flops. That's what it is every day. So, like, that's an adjustment for me, but that's what it is. So it's not a whole lot to do about nothing. But in the meantime, while life is going on, there are a lot of things going on. And it's not seen, seldom heard, but when things really happen and you have to talk about it, oftentimes it's talked about through a frustrated tone, angry even. Because meanwhile, you're absorbing all the things that go on and you don't talk about them. You miss the opportunity. You don't take the opportunity to talk about them. But 40-hour people, they get it all. They get it all. They get all those things. By the time you get home, nothing. And oftentimes the frustration is misplaced because what you're not looking at is your role in this. What you tend to look at is what we tend to look at first is the other person. Like They were supposed to be the ones to stop us from creating this normalcy of nothing. So the relationship at home begins to look less attractive because those things that you sought in this relationship have been taken outside of the relationship and becomes more fulfilling. Therefore, you begin to look forward to go to work, to go to school, than coming home. I'm not speaking on anything wrong. I'm not talking about forming an inappropriate relationship at this point. What I'm talking about is the obligation that is had, excuse me, that belongs in a relationship between husband and wife, girlfriend and boyfriend. Period. This is all I'm talking about in this moment. See, what happens is those things that you value most about the person at home falls to the wayside because time seems to be short. We don't have time to do this. We don't have time to do that. And you accept it as such and you let it be as such. Meanwhile, there's another side of that that's happening in the workplace where you are making time for that. You are having time for that. You see where I'm going here with this? See, all of that you're taking to work at a business, in a professional environment, should remain as such. It should stay professional. But we're human beings. And many of us don't have our lives grounded, whereas we have it established that this is solely a professional environment. And that means all relationships, no matter how, you have police officers who, ride together as partners every day. And they're in the vehicle every day as such. And that you see it on television where they have these conversations. And the next thing you know, they're tipping out on their partner. Yeah. Right? You have the office where, you have the time where you're sitting at your desk and you may not be, on the phone or doing anything. And the coworker comes in and they have a sit down in the chair. Right? I remember some years back, it was, what was it? I want to say probably 2007, 2008. Right? Those are my early years, my growing years. I knew a lot about the business. I knew everything pretty much about the business. But I delved into personal conversations with, some of my staff, males and females. But I began to see some things about the relationships. And one of the relationships was there was one of my staff. She used to always make sweet potato pies. She used to bring sweet potato pies to work for the staff. And I would jokingly say, "Well, I don't want to share. I want my own. This is good." So she would make pies for the staff, and then she would always make me. So it was another staff person, who tried her hand to make her sweet potato pies one day. She brought me a slice of it. I said thank you to her. And jokingly, I said, "You could be my baking wife." We always just kind of laugh, joke, and have. And so no offense was shown to be taken at that moment. About a year later, I had to correct a behavior of hers, and it was ongoing issues with her behavior, with her conduct. A little too brash, a little too mouthy. Not with me, but in the environment. And so I transferred her. About a week or so after I transferred her, my boss calls me to the office and he says, "Hey, listen, so and so said that you had made a statement to her about she could be your baking wife." I said, "Yes, I said that." And he began to tell me how inappropriate that was. So as a result of that, I got to write it for it and everything. But in the conversation, I was saying to him, I said, "Well, for me, it was a personal gesture. Therefore, the response was personal in nature. There were no implications, as far as I was concerned, about anything else attached to the role other than being a baking wife." Right? Now, this is my interpretation. This is my thinking. This is my rationale. You bought me a slice of pie in that you made. Great. That's wonderful. Thank you, man. This is good, man. Sheesh, you could be my baking wife. Now, for me, I didn't say that you can be my second, third, fourth wife, because that comes with different obligations. You're a wife, therefore you have wifely duties, which implies a level of intimacy as far different than the relationship of one human being to the other. And I explained that to him. I said, so I didn't feel like it was like, it wasn't like she, brought in a case file for me to review and said, "Hey, this looks good. You know, um, you could be my administrative assistant at home." Because for me, that crosses a boundary and that opens up something else. It was a personal gesture. It was a personal response. It was another situation where I had a male counselor who, we talked all the time. Him and I talked. We were cool, in terms of conversation. We were like-minded in many ways. Uh, at that time, I was attending 12-step meetings and things like that, and I was talking to him about some 12-step stuff because he too attended, and he was much newer in the process, and I was talking to him about some things, uh, and that later came up because of a perception that he had developed of me based off my position and my responsibilities and how I interpret policies, procedures, and actions that can be detrimental to the counselor and client relationship. And it came out of him in a very negative sense that he had perceived me, he put me in a particular light based off the dialogue we had established with one another and how he perceived the relationship. Right? I learned early on back in 94, 95, when I started coming into the field, um, of how you have to make a choice. If we're going to be friends, if we're going to be buddy buddy in a relationship, we still have to have very clear boundaries. If friendship gets in the way, friendship has to go. And I always told staff that because, again, going back to the 40 hours, you're around each other all the time. You express a lot of things personal. A lot of friendships are made. But then, you begin to see after leaving that place that there really was no friendship. It was a matter of convenience because you were there. So I learned early on is that, I didn't, we're not getting together, we're not hanging out, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, because that doesn't work. We're not having personal conversations, you know, beyond a certain cordialness of that. Yeah, yeah, drop the kids, yeah, the bus. I don't, I don't have a whole lot of that. You have to be very careful. It's just like being a clinician, especially, it's just some things you just don't talk about with the client, right? And then there's just some things you don't talk about staff with. That information that you talk about with that person at work, well, that goes to somebody else. You do know that, right? So somebody else has that conversation with somebody else. Everybody has a pillow talk with somebody, and eventually it lands at your doorstep. Yeah, eventually it winds up at your doorstep, because that's what gossipers do. People in the workplace are only utilizing that time for the time to make the day go by. So you're conveniently there with one another, and you conveniently have those conversations, and conveniently think that we're cool. Conveniently think that, oh, now we cool. And then when things come up, they bring them up as a defense for their bad behavior. Yeah, yeah. So meanwhile, you're going through all of these things at work, right? Now you don't want to come to work. Now you don't feel like being around that person. Now your whole attitude about that person has changed because something has changed between the two of you. That's the nature of the beast. But in the meantime, in addition to that, at home none of that is happening. But when you come home, now you're complaining about something that person, had expressed to you that was disturbing, negative in nature, off-putting, and now you're giving it to the very person who you should have been giving that initial conversation to. But you had that conversation with somebody else. Now you're crying foul. But that is how your life is, and you're set on that. What am I talking about? Complacency, the relationship killer. That's today's part. The article is by Robert Castellano, MS. Can being too comfortable in a relationship lead to the end? You don't have it anymore at home. Your home life is struggling, because that's how this goes every day. Your level of comfort has been splintered. You have good conversation at work, you laugh and joke at work, you come home, it's just tasks. There's no work being done on the relationship. There's no work being done in the relationship. You good with that. You good with, hey, I can't wait to get to work tomorrow. We can talk about this, that, and the other. You can't wait to see that person. And in your mind, it's just chit chat in many cases. Infidelity usually happens from the workplace because of this. Because you begin to see your relationship in a different light with your spouse. You begin to see them differently. They're objects. Going back to the iron. I only use the iron if I have to. If I can put on some pants and it ain't too wrinkly, I sure ain't worried about the t-shirt, because I'm a little, so at least this part up here is not too wrinkled, right? The rest of it just falls down. After a while, it hangs down. It just kind of blends right in. And that's what your relationship often comes down to. It just blends right in. It becomes just like the iron. It becomes just like the sofa. It becomes just like the weight exercise equipment that you have out on the patio. It becomes just like that. That's what your partner begins to represent. in that relationship. Because you got somebody to talk to. You got somebody to bounce things off of. You got somebody that you greet every day. You good. And again, in your mind, it's not an infidelity. But anytime you think about another person, anytime you think about another person, anytime you think about another person in the workplace, right, as being more joyful than your spouse, you're on your way. Because the relationship at home with the spouse just don't seem to be as significant because you don't have time to do those things that you have time to do at work. And you don't put time into it. You'll laugh and joke all day long at work and get home and be just as grisly and attitudinal and distant. Consciously or unconsciously doesn't matter. You begin to see a change in one another. You begin to see a change in one another. And the one that's having the most joy in the 40-hour space is the one who blames the spouse at home for being the problem. But you don't. We used to. Yeah, we did. And in your mind, you know. You know. So you begin to look at each other differently in the workplace, and you begin to look at each other differently at home. Let's talk about the article. Complacency. Here's some key points we're going to get out of this article. Complacency can happen over time in relationships. Becoming too comfortable leads to blurred boundaries. There are ways to refresh a relationship if complacency sets in. Nobody is guaranteed to always be there. Nobody. It's no guarantee. But there are things that you can definitely do to ensure if for whatever reason you guys part ways, that you gave all you could to keep it moving, to make it work, to keep that flow going. So let's go into the article. Many people have heard of the honeymoon stage. You know what that stage is. That's when the representative is there. Yeah, that's the great time. Yeah, that's where all the superficial dialogue happens. Yeah, all the posturing happens. All the I love yous get blurted out. Yeah, that's the honeymoon stage. You know, that one day it just comes out to you sitting there talking, y'all been dating for about a week, and like you really feeling this real good, and you just look at them and just, I love you. And it's not really a I love you in terms of till death do us part, but it feels real good. It feels real good. But that's the representative. Sometimes the representative stays around a little longer than they need to. But anywho, back to the article. Many people have heard of the honeymoon stage of a relationship. This is that time when you think that your partner can do no wrong, and they are consistently at the top of your list of priorities in life. This sense of awe and ecstasy is often prominent at the start of most relationships. It is during this period of time in the relationship that people are on their best behavior. And most of the behaviors from their partner that might be undesirable are often forgiven. It's okay. It's all right. Remember, I started this off about the chase. The chase. And how some of the stuff that we do is often embarrassing. Yeah, it's just embarrassing. Come on, it's just degrading. You know, you shouldn't have accepted that. That's that blind eye stuff. That's that stuff that you ignore. You know it existed. You hated it when it happened. You call your homie up or your girl up and just ran it for about 15 minutes on that behavior. But in person, the representative handled it differently. See, the representative has the job of sealing the deal. So you send a representative first out. You just forget about your values and your beliefs. The right thing to do. You just all that goes out the window because you want to be on your best behavior right now. Yeah, I'm gonna just wait. See how that plays out. Yeah. Back to the article. Once this initial period in a relationship has ended, people often start to come out of the shells a little bit more. They have become more comfortable with their partner. It is possible that they are not having sex as often as they used to. It is during this period that there may be some arguments because they are more comfortable around each other, and some bad habits may come out. Some things that might be argued about are simple things, such as leaving up the toilet seat or not asking if your partner wants something to eat on the way home from work. You follow where this is going? People fall into a routine and become comfortable. This is something that happens in every relationship at one point or another. You may hear your friends mention that they wish that their partner would be more like they used to be. This is often due to the fact that complacency has set in and the relationship is out of that initial honeymoon phase. Yeah, it's over. Just got real. So that behavior that you saw in the beginning, you don't accept it anymore. You got issue with it. Comfortable now, you want to talk about it. See, because if you talk about it during the honeymoon phase, it's a good chance you won't get none. The goal right now is to get some. The goal right now is to feed the need, which is often greed, because that's all you want. That's all you went after, right? You went after the money, right? So once you start getting the money, it's good. I'm not worrying about that. I don't care about nothing else. I was looking for the money. So me having sex with somebody else is fine because I wanted money out of this. Or the sex was great. That's all I wanted was the sex. I had to feed the need. It's there now. That's all I was looking for. I wasn't looking for nobody to take care of me. I can take care of myself. I wasn't looking for nobody to pay the bills. I could pay my own bills. What I was looking for was somebody who could rock my world. I got that now. I'm good. I'm good. And a lot of people are not honest enough with themselves to say that. I'm good. I wasn't looking for all this other stuff. I wasn't looking to waking up to you every morning. I wasn't looking to be in your bed every night. I was looking for my need to be met. And my need was met. So what's this other stuff you talking about? What is this? I'm not getting into all that with you. See, I can't do this. What do you mean this? What this whole like problem solving thing. It's not a problem for me, it's a problem for you. Right? And you take this same tone. You take this same tone to the 8 hour, Mr. 8 hour, Miss 8 hour. And you vent to them. And of course, they're readily available. I'm going to be here for 8 hours. Listen, we'll talk about that later. Yeah, we got to go through such and such. We'll talk about that later. You look upset. Now this person has begun to monitor your emotions. They know when you're happy. They know when you're sad. Then knowing you've had a difficult morning with your spouse. They've watched the drop off. They've watched the pickup. They overheard the telephone calls and they're readily available. Yeah, they're readily available. Hey, listen, I know it's not any of my business, but you seem like a little troubled today. Anything you want to talk about? Well, we've been having all these other personal conversations, so why not go ahead and shoot my shot now? Yeah, because like at this point, I'm on my way in. I care. Maybe unbeknownst to that other person, but I care. So now this is time for me to shoot my shot. I'm an inch closer to that thing because, I don't care what you say. When you have a personalized relationship in the workplace, eventually it goes there. That's what makes it inappropriate to have personalized content. You have to be very careful. You have to make sure that home is tight before you start having dialogue with somebody else in the workplace that becomes tight. It's going to happen if you don't watch yourself. Even if it's just a thought, that's infidelity. People keep thinking that infidelity is a sexual act. No. Infidelity is the thought. If you think of that person in a manner that you should only be thinking of your spouse as, you have committed infidelity. Understand that. Once that thought is planted, once that seed is planted, that person now becomes an option. The person becomes an option. I am not an option. When you allow yourself to be an option, it's over. Plain and simple. If you see another person as an option, it's over. Plain and simple. It's time to move on because nothing good is going to come out of this. When it all began with the level of complacency that was established in the relationship at home because you stopped doing what you needed to do and you made room for Satan's whispers. Yeah. Your own self-talk. That's the whispers. You begin to tell yourself, oh yeah, you know what? Man, I can make her happy. She don't need to be going through all this. You can't wait to see her. See her in the workplace. Hey, what's going on? How you doing? You all right? Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. And she may be in the same space of complacency. That's how these things happen. And a lot of times it's part of the game. It's part of the game. I know it is, especially for men, because that's what men are. We're predators. If we don't have our stuff together, we are natural born predators. We have to be. In order for us to have, for Adam and Eve to have done all of this, sheesh, you think Adam was just hitting Eve? Come on. Really? Yeah. Kissing cousins? Know about all that? Yeah. All of this didn't come about with non-family members. If all of us are family. Come on, y'all. What's wrong with you? Somebody need to tell you that that's your 45th cousin removed? It's still your damn cousin. We're all related. We are all shades of the brown. There's no black. Brown. We're shades. All of us are different shades. You just don't accept it. That's okay. From the darker to the light. We're just shades. That's all we are. We're shades. But anywho, so you have to look at what has happened to you before you start telling your partner what has happened with us. What we used to. Okay, so what have you been doing? So when we talks about here, people fall into a routine to become comfortable. I laid out the routine for you. All you have to do is take a look at, is this where you are? Have you gotten comfortable with this routine? Because when you fall into just this routine, right, it's just like anything else. You get a couple nicks and dings on your car just doesn't give you the same feeling today that it did when you first rolled it off the lot. It's got these dings and pings in it. It looks different now. And every time you come out the door, what's the first thing you look at? The pings and the dings. Same thing happens in your relationship. What are you looking at? The pings and the dings. We used to be happy. But you forgot that the honeymoon stage always ends. It never stays there. It never stays there. It's supposed to. It's supposed to get real. You're supposed to be okay with it getting real and respond appropriately, respond accordingly, not avoid it. But if that was never your intent, if you were never looking for a husband, if you were never looking to be a wife, right? See, a lot of people are, there are a lot of women who are looking for a husband, but they're not looking to be a wife. There are a lot of men out there who are looking for a wife, but are not looking to be a husband. That's where the problem is. So you have to see how all this, always goes back to the beginning, childhood, because you have the examples there of how things were handled in relationships. You have all your own evidence, how you establish relationships with people. So you already have the evidence. Let's go to the article where it talks about comfort and boundaries. Complacency in a relationship can lead to a diminished sense of connection and excitement. This will also hinder the growth in a relationship. When people become complacent in a relationship, they will often violate the other person's boundaries. When people's relationship becomes stagnant and they feel like they're stuck where they are, they will often stop taking their partner's feelings and things into consideration, and they will find themselves taking their partner for granted. This is when people's boundary lines sometimes get blurred. People will start treating their partner less like a partner and more like a roommate. That's in the case that they're living together, right? But in the case where you're not living together, you come to one another's place, you begin to get treated as a guest. I'm not a guest if we're in a relationship together. I'm not your damn guest. Follow me? I can go in the refrigerator. I can go lay in the bed and take a nap if I want to. I can go jump in the shower if I want to. I can cut a slice of that pie on the table. Yeah. I can get the remote, sit down, take my shoes off, and put my feet up. Yeah. Because I'm not a guest. But that's how you get treated when you're taken for granted. Like you even feel that way when you go to that person's house. You don't even feel like, we're in a relationship. You sit there like I'm a guest. To the article. Some examples of these violated boundaries might be using your partner's things without asking. Many people can relate to a time that they have gone to the fridge for something and it is gone because their partner took it without asking. Now you that ain't come on. Your partner might not clean up anymore or dress their best because they expect that you will clean up. And they will no longer feel the need to impress you because you are already in the relationship. If you're looking for ways to get out of the house so that you can have some quiet time, or if you are looking forward to your partner leaving to go on vacation so that you can have some time to yourself away from them, this can be a warning that there is a sense of complacency that has set in the relationship. You have to look at everything. One of the things that I try to do, because men are limited in what we can do in terms of this beautification. I can't think of a term right now that would be uh, relevant for males coming from a male, but we're seen as beautiful by our queens. So, but I try to make sure from home all day, I try to shower, right? At least once in that day. Put some oils on, put some lotion on, put some deodorant on, change my drawers and whatnot, right? That's about the extent of what I can do as a male. You know, I mean, yeah, I can throw a thong on and run around the house. Well, it used to be. I'd at least run around the bedroom from side to side. But that's what I can do. But there are a lot of dudes who don't do that. They'll just sit around all day, smell like ass, right? And then expect some work or expect for her to be up under you. And because she loves you, sometimes she'll just excuse it. She won't necessarily tell you, you need to, you know, because it's something that you should do. It's something that you should do, but you don't do it because she doesn't say anything about it. She accepts that from you. Therefore, you don't do anything different. You don't do anything different. And that's how you stay. You don't feel the need to be fresh and clean and well groomed for your wife anymore. But you made it your damn business when you started dating to buy all the damn cologne that you could possibly buy, to spray as much of it on you that you possibly could. You even brushed your teeth every day, right? That was one of the first things you start doing. Start making sure you smell good, that you look good. Again, the representative. See, the representative is smart. That's the one that gets you all the goodies. You are the problem. You need to get rid of the representative. That's what you need to do. Get rid of the representative. So you need to be real from the door. We spend too much time being the representative, and then we turn into monsters in so many ways because of our conduct. But to get up in the morning, right? It's been a long, grueling week. I get it. But you got to do everything you possibly can to be appealing to her, to keep her looking at you as she did the representative. Because stuff then got real. Things have changed. Arguments have ensued. Conflicts and controversies have arisen. And when you're complacent and you don't take care of some of the smallest things like that, the whole thing just looks like, man, it's another day. There's no joy going to come out of it. No lasting joy is going to come out of that relationship. So do things for yourself, to yourself, other than just going to the barbershop and getting that $75 haircut and shit. No. And dressing up and being the flyest one, when y'all go somewhere. when it's all about you. That's the representative stuff. But it's stuff she accepted. It's stuff he accepted from the gate, and you think it's okay. When the representative leaves, all hell breaks loose because this is not really what you wanted. You don't want to be tied down. So now you start talking to her differently. Your tone has changed with her. She's asking questions about things, and you don't want to be asking questions because you didn't sign up for this part. You just wanted the great sex, and then you want to rationalize and justify it by saying, "Well, that's all you want." And in most cases, that's true. But it's where we go after this. We're capable of going after this. Can I go further than this? Some people can't go further than the sex. Many have never been beyond that part. So now you want me to, to do something that I've never had experience in doing. It's like asking a drug dealer to stop selling drugs because you're pregnant. Why would I do that? My bills are paid every month. I get new gear every week. Why would I stop selling drugs? Because you're pregnant. That's how that child is going to be taken care of. You feel me? So, you got to start looking at things a little differently here. But you wouldn't know that until the representative left. And things start happening and you start questioning things. You start asking, why is this happening? Why did that happen? Because you didn't see it before. Well, know that today. You won't see that during the representative stage unless you seek it. And when you seek it, expect for people to just eventually just walk away before you even sometimes get there. Stop giving it and see. People say, "Oh, well, you putting too much pressure." Why not? Why not put the pressure on you now? Why not give it to you now? Why not be me now? Because you're going to get me later. And then you're not going to love me later? Nah. Nah. My experience has been quite the opposite. You have to put things out from the gate. You have to be consistent with addressing things as they arise. You have to be. No representative here. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do me. And you need to see what doing me looks like. The last part of the article, how to reignite the spark. The good thing is that there is hope, right? All these things have happened. The representative gone. Communication is shot to hell because we just didn't have it. The fire that went out, it's a little smolder over here on one of these pieces of wood. You get those real thick pieces that just continue to smolder, even on the inside. You don't see it, but it's still hot, right? We can turn this relationship around in most cases, and we can eliminate this bothersome thing called complacency. It will take work, but in most cases, it will be worth it in the long run. And you have to believe that. You have to believe that. You have to believe that it's worth it. If you don't believe that it's worth it, or if you don't believe that this is what you really wanted, or if you believe that other option may be a better option instead of you putting in the work, then that may be the case as well. And that's often why a lot of relationships end, because the person has become so involved in the option See, you used to be the one, and then people start looking at their option. Now, option is number one, and you're now option. So people opt out because they don't want to put in the work because they feel like this option is no longer viable. That the number one is where you want to go because it's new, because you can establish something different, because you can continue to conceal the real you. And then you find yourself days, months, years down the line looking at the same thing about you. And now you're an option to somebody else. That's how it goes, man. Because you what you fail to look at is you are an option anyway. You are just an option. You're the 8-hour option. You're the 40-hour option. So you're something to do while I'm at work. And when I leave, I go to the primary, right? Because in my mind, that's the primary. You just an option. You just the one I'm trying to sneak off with somewhere in the workplace where I can just go ahead and hit it. Yeah. And use you because that's what you do with options. And now you didn't let him hit it. You didn't let her hit it. And when you go home, right, to the option now, you don't want to be there. And your whole attitude has changed with that other person. And you still don't even see that you're just an option for that other person. Now you're in love. Now the person who loves you, who cares for you, who planned their life to death with you is devastated. And you're done. But now you're somebody's option. You rather be an option. You rather be an option. And that's what you're going to spend the rest of your life being, an option. Always somebody's option. Because you don't know how to put in the work to maintain, to establish, to sustain a healthy relationship. And don't put the time in to learn. So the first step article in combating complacency in a relationship is to break the routine. We become complacent because our life has fallen into a routine. Try something new in the relationship. This can be going to a new restaurant or taking a mini vacation. I'm going to stop there for a minute. That's great and that's wonderful. That doesn't change anything. For me, it doesn't. It doesn't address the issue. It's putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. No. Have more movie nights at home together. Do things together where it's the two of you and you can engage in conversation. Watch an episode of Daddy's Right Here Live together. Yeah, for real. Watch one of the episodes that you can find in my Suburban Educational Station on YouTube. Take one of those, pick one, and just sit down and have a conversation with one another. I'm not going to say after it because it's an hour show. A lot's going to come up. So I don't suggest spending money. First of all, you got to go spend money to make this better because you might need to spend money for counseling. So, the routine of things doesn't have to be going out. The routine of things can be doing things together. Like me and mine, we'll sit on a patio and do the hookah. Have a couple drinks. Have a couple of the same drinks. I'm a Hennessy person. She likes the fruity kind of stuff. I'll do those too. My preference is, the Hennessy neat, right? Find something, find a series to binge watch. Sit up all night, like on a Friday night, We do that. We'll sit down on our Friday. We'll sit down and we'll just like binge watch something. I'll find a movie, she'll find a movie. We do things like that. Okay, this movie's over, your turn. You start doing things. But there's a lot of work, so don't stop there either. Find moments to have conversation. You watching porn on the side, hell, watch it together. It's so many. You have to always be doing different things to keep one another entertained. Like I'm just a damn comedian, right? I always try to keep laughter. I'm always doing something, but I always bear in mind that I have her. So like we do this business, we do. Oh, yeah, a lean for you. .net. Yeah, we do that together. A lean for number 4 you.net. The website is having some glitches right now, but I'm still loading stuff in. I got to get the pages connected with Google. I'm working on that as well. But we do that together. Like I've been working on setting up the site. Our new home is leanforyou.net. So I've eliminated some other sources that I was using and just solidify things. So like, last night she wanted to come into the lab and do some work. And I've had the laptop downstairs. I've been doing like all nighters getting this together. She wanted to come upstairs and do some work in the lab. And I said, she asked me, was I coming up? I said, well, no, I'm keep this down here because she said, well, you got to show them. I said, you got to take it upstairs anyway. She had to say no more. It's like for me inside, I said, okay, say less. Say less. So I got my stuff together and I came on up here in the lab with her. Right? It's things like that, simple things that you really got to pay attention to, man. Sometimes I can be stubborn. Sometimes I can be stuck where I want to be, and I don't. Hey, nope, I'm staying right here. Had I not had to do this show, I'd have probably still came up. Begrudgingly, doesn't matter. I just still came up. So you just got to pay attention to things, man. But it's work. It's work. You can't have everything your way. You can't do everything the way you want to do it. It's learning stages and phases for each one of us. I have to learn about her. She has to learn about me. You have to know, as the saying goes, your audience. Right? The last part of the article. We also need to start treating our partner as the person we saw them as when we first met them. And that's a hard thing to do when so many things have transpired throughout all of this relationship because, like I said, people have been together for years and complacent and comfortable for years. And they forget why they entered into this relationship. They forget about all of those values that they saw, in that person that was important to them in their lives. Do things to let them know that you love them. Begin courting them again, in a sense. Buy flowers or leave little notes for them. You might even look into packing a lunch for your partner for work. One of the most uplifting feelings in the world is knowing that there is somebody in this world that cares how you are doing. Everybody has busy lives, but we have to take a break from life to spend time with the people that we love. We chose this person. We made the decision to be in a relationship with this person. We have asked this person to be a part of our life. We have to make sure that we're including them in our life. But when you make 40 hours your life, that becomes your life forever. This is going back to the article. This is going to serve two purposes. This will not only renew the relationship, but it will assist you in not becoming so overwhelmed with work that you become a miserable partner. Relationships take work, and we have to be mindful of that. Pay attention to how you are feeling and let your partner know. Keep an open line of communication with them and don't let things go until they blow up. Let's take care of our relationships so that we can live happy and complete lives. It's a miserable people out there. And a lot of their misery has more to do with them than the relationship that they're in. It's not them, it's you. And I've always said this, and I've done shows on this. You're responsible to make you happy. I do not make anyone happy. I should be enhancing your happiness. If you're not happy within, don't look for it outside of you because it's not coming. It's not coming. Don't put that weight on me. Don't put that weight on somebody else. You need to be happy first. If you think that your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever you call yourselves, are going to be the ones that make you happy, you set yourself up. You're unhappy because you're unhappy. When you're unhappy, you compromise your values and beliefs. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And you think resolve is going to come through your groin. That's the insane part because that only adds to your misery. Because if you had any kind of feelings for the other person, you're going to now be plagued with guilt because of what you've done. Again, because when the representative wears off, when the newness of that wears off, it's nothing happening. He don't even want you no more. I can't speak for women, but dude ain't even gonna want you no more. If all he wanted was the shot, that's all he wants is the shot. He don't want you. He don't want the responsibility of you. He doesn't want to take care of you. He doesn't want to be available to you. He doesn't want that. He wants the shot. Period. So he got the shot. He gone. If you don't feel like being bothered, watch all the excuses. Watch all the things come up. Oh, my dog been having some problems. His hair been falling out. And I don't know what it is, but like I got to come home every day and brush him because hair be everywhere. But like he's got patches of hair falling out, and he just sits around and whine. And I got him on a special diet, so I got to go get certain things from the store, for him. And my grandmother, she getting out of this. She's getting out of retirement home. She's gonna come live with me for a while. So like I wouldn't even have to. Yeah, it's just come on. Ill-equipped men do what we do until we grow up, shake off the boy, and act responsibly. You got a lot of boys still out there because they haven't confronted their childhood traumas, and they call it fun. You want to be somebody's option, and you want to be somebody's fun. I want you to be my fun, my joy, my pain, my ride to die. I want you all that, all that. Too old for you know boot call. Too old for boot call. Most painful situation to be in because you done messed up somebody's emotions, right? You done interrupted family. You do all those things yourself. I don't know what to tell you. What I do know is that you can do something different. You have to want to do something different, or before long, you'll be on the outside looking in. Yeah, yeah. That's where you'll be because you need to find out what's happening. But anyway, you can be doing anything else on a Saturday morning, but I'm so thankful that you're here. Uh, Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. Hey, but dig this too, right? Um, Make sure you check out alinforyou.net. This is one of the shirts. I don't know if you noticed the shirt, and this is one of the this is the tumbler. Yes, a 20-ounce tumbler. As you can see, it's a yeah. It matches the shirt. See, yeah, see this? It matches. trying to get this. It's funny, but right. That's so. This is the shirt. You know, there's a sleeve here. So on some of the sleeves here. So you see, this is the logo, the lean logo. Get a look at that. So some of the shirts are going to have large logos. Some of them have the smaller logo that's about the size of like the other designer shirts. It's not going to be that tiny, but but and they'll obviously there'll be a different cost. When you get the large polo, right? You pay more for the large polo. So some I have it on one sleeve, some will be on two sleeves. So you kind of this is one of the shirts. Uh, Wifey's the one that's been doing all the print work. I've been doing all the administrative stuff, setting up the websites and stuff like that. But again, yeah. So this is one of the shirts, um, and this is the tumbler. It's the tumbler. It's the coffee mug. Ah, there you go. So you got the mug, you got the coffee mug, right? See, same as the shirt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't seem to get this right. So, yeah. So you got the shirt, you got the tumbler. See the tumbler here. You got the tumbler. So I got two cameras in front of me. So don't ask me if am I crazy, because my sanity has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. But you can see it. It's the shirt. You see that image there? You see the same image on the shirt. I'm trying to get this left and right together, but you can see that. See, so we'll be selling these in bundles where you can get the T-shirt, the tumbler, and the coffee mug. Also setting up where you can uh, get. We have pillows as well, so we get the pillow, which has the same work on it. The pillow, the tumbler, and the mug. So different sets. But check this out. Make sure you check the website, but also my social media. I got dresses, A-line dresses with the full design on it. Listen to what I'm telling you. Mini skirts. I think they're like 8 inch, 9 inch skirts. Come down slightly above the knee. Fully designed. Full. When I say full, the whole skirt has the design on it. Shower curtains, comforters, throw blankets, fully designed. This whole picture, just imagine this whole picture on a shower curtain. Just imagine this whole picture on a comforter, on one of your throw blankets, right? On a backpack, on a duffel bag, on a clock. The merchandise that you're going to find is, listen, I have been looking for a site to produce these things. So I've cut out some other stuff. And listen to what I'm telling you. And great pricing. This is a man, listen. When I saw my design on a dress, I was like, that's it. That's what I want. That allows me to design the dress exactly as I want it. Do the design, look at the dress, and cut it and make it just like this. You're going to see some merchandise from Aline for you that you're not seeing from many places, right? You're not going to see this type of work. My thing is to see these designs on all of you, not just on the stage, some entertainer wearing it on the red carpet. That would be great. Now that would be great to see somebody sporting. But yo, man, when I saw this, I said, "Yep, this is it. This is it." So, anywho, I digressed. Um, Check out AleneForYou.net. Check out my Severe Aleem educational station on YouTube. Make sure you check that out. Man. Make sure you check it out. Uh, it's over 300 videos. If you really want to, to improve as a person, you want to really dig deep, do some psychotherapy, do some work in the area of improving the relationship with you, the father of your children, or child, and the child. The time to start is now. You can't just let it be as it is if it just ain't been fruitful for the both of you. For the both of you. But it begins with your happiness first. You got to take out some trash, man. You really do. Listen, I've taken out bags over the years, and I still carry my hefty bag with me because when stuff shows up, I address it. I address it, and then I throw it in the trash because I've replaced it with something else. I replaced it with a positive behavior, a positive perspective, right? Because I want to be happy. I can't listen. I can't depend on somebody else to make me happy. That would be a failure from the beginning. Person should enhance your happiness. Let me say that over and over again. If you're not happy, if you're unhappy, don't blame the person that you're with. Don't blame your husband. Don't blame your wife. Don't make them the bad guy in the area of what you have failed to do for yourself. You're unhappy because you're unhappy. And no groin to groin contact is going to change that. It's not. Yeah. Uh, it is what it is. Again, thank you for tuning in. Uh, it's just listen, make it happen. It's your responsibility. I see you on the other side, man. Remember, pain is part of life. Suffering is an option. Have a great day. Peace.
Do you hear a cry while my baby has to die? Told a lie after lie after lie. I want to be a tough guy.
Tough guy.
I want to be a tough guy.
From the album Poetic Peace Volume 1, Mixed Messages. You're listening to Tough Guy. Hey, just know I'm in the lab working on something else. The remix of Young.
Living the street life.
It's coming.
You don't need to take pride. Your mind is on that money.
Abandoning your child and you sweet behind.
She's holding it down. You're never around. Then you knock on her door, telling her another man's down. Can't be a provider if you're not there beside her. You gotta live alone in that house with your her. You got a life on hold. Our life you told. When phone time comes, that's why conversation's cold. Do you hear her cry? While my baby having time, told a lie after lie. I wanna be tough guy. Do you hear her cry? While my baby having time, told a lie after lie after lie. I wanna be tough guy. I wanna be tough guy.
Huh? AleneForYou.net. Check us out. Place your order. Get it fast. Get it done. Remember, there's just one.
Do you remember the very first call?
Without hesitation,
Who did you call? Once you were free, who did you go see? The one you call your dog, your true enemy. You're robbing and killing,
your brother's blood you're spilling.
role model for your child,
Community
villain. You say she's holding you up,
she's in the way.
but you had no place of your own,
And in her bed she lay.
do you hear her cry?
Do you hear cry?
Why my baby had to die?
Why?
So lie and lie and lie when he just died. Do you hear her cry? Why my baby had to die? So lie and lie and lie when he just died. I wanna be tough guy.
What did he?
You're a repeat offender. You got a public defender. All you had is a JK, Mr. Money Man pretender. You're walking around the yard, still talking smack. But your homies from around the way, they ain't finding your back. You didn't know the rules when you got into this game. What you thought you would get was fortune and fame. This fortune you got, a flag you claim. There's a bounty on your head, taking one to the brain. Do you hear the cry? Why my baby had to die? So the lie after lie after lie, I wanna be tough time. Do you hear the cry? Why my baby had to die? So the lie after lie after lie, I wanna be tough time. I wanna be tough guy. I wanna be tough guy. I wanna be tough guy. See, the moral of the story is you just walking all your glory. Pockets full, you nothing but pussy. The numbers don't give you. You won't have a name. And if you ever see freedom, you'll probably walk with pain. You're stabbed in the back. Both one and the same. But remember, one what you're in this for. They both had your back. You did them both real dirty. And that's the fact. One was your mother. the other you love. One loses the sun, the other provides enough. Do you hear the cry? Why my baby had to die? For the lie, after lie, after lie, I wanna be that guy. Do you hear the cry? Why my baby had to die? For the lie, after lie, after lie. Wanna be that guy? 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 Do you hear the cry?
I'll see y'all next Saturday, 9 a.m. live right here for another episode of Daddy's Right Here. Y'all have a great day. Peace.